Yeah, it's definitely the hardest part is honestly getting started and just finding an idea that you have a passion about. But just researching topics, and they can even start as pretty simple topics. Like I have such a passion for environmental science, and obviously wildfires and drought are such a common, unfortunately, problem in our world. So I just wanted to see if maybe there was something I could do to prevent these, and turns out there was. So it was just honestly researching something that you're curious about, researching something that you find passion in is the best way to create something that you love.
Hi there, this is exclusive
Welcome, welcome all to another episode of the Why to How podcast. Here today interviewing Claire Sehn, a wonderful, inspirational, motivational award winner from the Candlelight Science Fair this year. Claire and her project Beat the Blaze Preventing Wildfires and Drought won our Junior Discovery Platinum Award at the Candlelight Science Fair this year. I'm excited to get into this conversation. I know Claire is as well. We've got lots to cover. So Claire, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Good, glad to hear. Do you want to get us started with your elevator pitch? Tell us what's your firefighting solution in 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, of course. So, in my project, I created a biodegradable treatment which can prevent wildfires and drought, and I created it using compost materials. So, I created a hydrogel out of three different types of compost: pineapple peel, pine needle, and corn husk. And I also used crushed PEI mussel shells, which have calcium carbonate in them, which is an excellent fire retardant. So, I found that when I combined the crushed mussel shells and my creation of the compost hydrogels, it presented an effective biodegradable treatment which can prevent wildfires and drought.
Yeah, awesome. What?
Thank
Why?
you.
Where did this idea come from?
So, really, my idea stemmed from a previous project that I did last year where I grew plants using a synthetic hydrogel. So, this year I wanted to kind of build on that project, and I added in the wildfire factors also as well as the biodegradable factor as well.
Okay, that's cool. Um, Obviously, really cool project. And I mean,
Yeah.
congratulations for winning an award at Candlelight Science Fair.
Thank you so much.
Do you remember how it felt when you're sitting there around those
Yeah,
tables? It was nice and hot there at Fredericton.
it
Were
definitely
you
was.
stressed? You didn't get your name called for a while?
Well, I was definitely it was just such a surreal moment, and I was so grateful to just, be able to win such a incredible award. But yeah, it was such a surreal moment. I was in shock for a while, for sure, but it was so incredible that I got to present something that I love doing, and I got to have a pretty good result out of it, so
Well, you definitely deserved it. Congratulations
thank
once
you.
again. Do you want to tell me why wildfires and fire safety? Why a biodegradable solution? Like what made this so important to you?
Well, so every year I've seen in our country the horrible effects of wildfires, and as well as drought. And I really wanted to see if I could create a treatment that could protect families and property against these horrible wildfires while also protecting our environment. And so that was kind of the inspiration for this project.
That's cool. And I love that you just saw something on the news and you're like, this is it. I'm going to fix this. Tell us, how does
Yeah.
it work? Like, what actually makes this work? What makes your project so special?
So, the calcium or the mussel shells have calcium carbonate in them, and when calcium carbonate is exposed to heat, it turns into carbon dioxide, which displaces oxygen. And then the hydrogel absorbs and holds water, so it can act as a retainer for moisture, and it can still give moisture to the soil in times of drought.
Okay. And so is the idea you're just spraying this on the trees or like what, how is this actually happening? How are you getting your solution onto into these fires?
So if I were to apply it to, say, a forest, I would, yes, first apply it to the trunks of the trees by spraying it, and then I would also go overhead via plane to the tops of the trees just to get the full effect and hope to cover as much space as possible.
So, so sunscreen for trees, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool, nice. Um, that's amazing. Why mussels? Obviously, like I go to the beach, I see the mussels, bit slimy, bit gross. I know I can eat them. What made you think I see fires in the bush? This is the solution.
Well, so I was researching kind of natural materials which contain calcium carbonate, and I came across mussel or oyster shells which have lots of calcium carbonate in them. But where I'm from in Ontario, we don't have lots of oyster shells, so instead we do have quite a few mussel shells, and we have tons of mussel shells in Canada, especially in the East Coast. So I decided that maybe I could use these mussel shells, and they were an effective source of calcium carbonate.
Okay, cool. I'm guessing this isn't something you're covering in your day-to-day science class at school.
No,
No.
unfortunately.
How did you figure out all of this information then? What were you reading? What were you looking at? What were you watching?
Well, I was just doing a lot of research. I would kind of just I would a thought would come into my head about a certain topic, and then I would kind of almost go down a rabbit hole of just ideas, and I would just write everything down as and just try to gain as much knowledge as I could, and then that's when I really came up with my hypothesis and what I was going to do in this project.
So walk me through what that looked like from the original idea. We've got lots of muscles and there's lots of fire. How do I combine those two? To then having a final project that you presented. Like what does that timeline look like?
So my project was separated into three phases. In the first phase, I used synthetic and biodegradable materials as different treatments. And then in that phase, I found that the fully biodegradable treatment of a hydrogel I use called HEC, which is created from pineapple peel, and the crushed mussel shells was the best treatment. And then I tested that the HEC hydrogel and the crushed mussel shell treatment on different types of soil and wood to see if it was once again effective, and it was. And then in phase three, I created my own hydrogel out of pineapple peel and more readily available materials in Canada, pine needles and corn husk, and it was effective, and it was similar to the original HEC hydrogel.
So set the scene for me a little bit here. Are you sitting around the kitchen table with just pineapple peels and mussel? Like, what are your
So
parents thinking?
yeah. I actually had the opportunity of working in a lab at Trent University, which is a local university near me. So I got to work with scientists. The overall period was about 93 hours, which I wasn't in a lab for 93 hours, but I was just, the materials were just being created over that time. But it was such an incredible experience to work with real scientists in a lab setting.
Claire, you are a real scientist. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You are a real scientist in a real lab with other real scientists.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Um, so Trent University, local university. How did you just reach out to them? Did you send them an email? Did you catch them at the grocery store? Like, how are you getting that connection and getting yourself in there?
Well, it was actually really incredible. So at the Peterborough Regional Science Fair, right away after the fair, they hook you up with mentors from Trent University. So I was so lucky to have such an amazing group of people who were supporting me and wanted to help me succeed in this project.
Awesome. I love that regional fair connection, and I love seeing region support youth that directly.
Mhm.
What was your regional fair experience like, and then how does that compare to the Canada-wide science fair?
Well, my regional fair experience was so much fun, but it definitely can't compare to Canada wide. It was so exciting to be able to present my science to judges. But I mean, Canada wide is just such an incredible opportunity to meet so many like-minded people from all over Canada. And just be able to spend an entire week together was so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty. Not to be biased, but we're a pretty cool bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
And I say that as a term of endearment. uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Is this your first time doing science fair? Obviously not. You've done a project like this in the past. So how long have you been a science fair kid?
I've been a science fair kid for I think 5 years now. Yeah, I think 5. So yeah.
And I should probably be asking your parents this, but were you the kid growing up that was always asking why? Like, were you a curious kid?
Pretty much. I always loved reading. I was an incredible bookworm. Always was like reading no matter what. And I think that's definitely kind of what sparked my curiosity, and I'm so happy that I was able to put that into the science world.
We love a book nerd. What are you reading at the moment? What's on the go right now?
At the moment for school, I'm currently reading a book called Animal Farm. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Classic, George Orwell.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely quite a I mean, it's definitely a heavy book, but it's definitely
Yeah.
important to read. It's very interesting, which is good.
Are you reading for fun outside of school? Outside of science fair,
Yes.
sorry? Yeah, okay.
Yes, as well. I'm reading a book called A Little Life. I haven't gotten too deep into it, but so far it's about five men who don't have much, but they're living their lives in New York and they're trying to make the best of what they do have.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Yeah.
It
I
is.
think we should go to a book club of just all the different books that everyone is reading just to see
Yeah.
just and like vote on books like our own
Yes.
mini like Goodreads community.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. So were you reading a lot then to do your science fair project as well? Were you reading up on forest fires? Were you reading up on HEC?
Yeah, pretty much. I was reading up a lot on different experiments that other scientists have done and creations of hydrogels and how I could create my hydrogel and how I could adapt methods to create my own hydrogel that was not only made from pineapple peel.
Did you have a process of going through? Was this the only idea you had? Did you have a bunch of ideas, I imagine? How did you choose like this one specifically?
Well, I kind of did. I was brainstorming. I was kind of maybe going to you create something where I could the treatment could also give nutrients into the soil. However, I wasn't able to do that, but perhaps in the future I could do something like that as well. But yeah, I definitely had a couple other ideas. A couple are actually in medical science, which I also have a really big interest in, and I would love to do a project like that in the future, but I do have a strong passion for environmental science.
That's totally fine. You're allowed to be curious and you're allowed to explore lots of different areas. Maybe you'll combine them both somehow. I don't even know how that
Yeah.
would work. But so lots of ideas. You chose one, sat down. Are you doing this project at a computer? Are you writing notes on a notepad? Are you storing it in Google Docs? Like what is the process of doing a STEM fair project for Claire look like?
Well, I definitely had a variety. When I was originally just taking down my observations and some of my data, I was putting it into my logbook, but then I would put all of my data into a Google Sheet and do like statistical analyses, and as well as, of course, putting my board together. But a lot of it was definitely a mix of paper and computers.
Okay. So if you had to put together a list of resources that was crucial to you, what are we talking? Computer,
Yeah.
university lab.
Yeah, I would say as well as just an area in my house where I could conduct like the phase 1 and phase 2 experiments um and just yeah, lots of time for sure.
Yeah. Was there something at Trent University, like a researcher, I imagine, working with you? Was there anything that they told you that really stuck into your mind as like a key thing that was like an aha moment for you, almost like a perfect piece of advice?
Hmm. I would say she was definitely really excited to work with me, and that was really motivating for me. It was really exciting to see someone who had such a strong passion for science and was able to take that and have it as their everyday job, and they could just do experiments whenever they want. So that was probably one of the most exciting moments for me, just to see someone who had the same passions that I had.
Was this your first time in a lab? Like
It
working in a lab like
was
that? Yeah.
working in a lab. Yeah, it was. It was so much fun.
So how'd it feel? You're like a grown up real scientist now.
Yeah, it was I mean, it was definitely a process. I had to be very focused, but it was so incredible to see just all the incredible things that are there are now.
Did it feel weird that someone was like taking you so seriously? You're a young student, right? And you're at an adult, grown up lab with people that do this every day as a job. What did it feel like to be in that situation?
It was pretty weird. It definitely felt different, but it was also so nice to have someone who respected me for my interests and was just someone that I could kind of bounce ideas off of, but also just like say, this is what I want to do. And she completely helped me do that. It was so incredible to work with someone like that.
So I imagine she was a pretty key part of where you got the information you needed just to like design
Mhm.
the experiments and figure out the results. Was there other sources of information that you were going to? Like, do you watch a lot of YouTube? Are you browsing Wikipedia links? Like, where are you getting where are you getting all the information from?
I definitely just read a lot of journal articles, just research on Google, and then just read and read and read. And that's where I find a lot of my project ideas, but also inspiration for future research.
Any particular journals that are your go-to favorites? Anything you got bookmarked?
It's honestly a really big variety. I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't think I could tell you, but it's just a lot of research for sure.
Yeah. Journals aren't known for being the easiest things to read, especially if you're doing a bunch of like, especially if you're also reading George Orwell for school and you're also trying to read personally. How are you holding all of this? How are you holding all of this information at once? How are you reading so many different types of things all at once? Like, give us some advice.
Well, I would say my biggest piece of advice is just write stuff down, whether that's on paper or in a computer. It was crucial for me to be organized when I was conducting this project and in my everyday life. But just writing stuff down, I always like to print out my journal articles and just go through and highlight important parts or circle stuff. I always find that helps me work a lot better and faster and efficiently.
Nice. Did it all go smoothly from start to finish? No problems, no mistakes. How'd it go?
Well, there definitely were some or there were definitely some ideas that I needed to rework.
Mhm.
For example, when I was first conducting my phase one tests, I started off by burning a pile of wood that was coated in treatment, but I realized that it wasn't my results weren't very good because the sticks really differed in sizes. Some were very small and could burn quite easily, while others were quite thick. So then I decided to rework my idea, and instead I just went by burning a single stick of wood, and my results were much better than that when I did that, and they were more exact.
Nice. So what's the key takeaway here? Burn less?
I would say when I was conducting my trials, I would say burning sticks of similar size got me better results.
Nice. I assume you're burning these in a lab. Like, was there a lot of just in lab things you had to learn, like safety requirements, the procedures, and everything that just like didn't come naturally?
Yeah, definitely. Well, in my phase one tests, I did actually burn it in my house, which probably I just used actually a barbecue lighter, which was effective. But then, thankfully, in phase two and phase three, I got to work in a lab and I conducted a standardized test called a small flame test, using a Bunsen burner and just holding the stick at a certain height, just to get better results, and also it's a lot safer.
Just a little bit. What did
Yeah.
your parents think about you lighting things on fire in the house?
Well, they also love science, so at first they
Okay.
were a little bit skeptical, but then they were like, "As long as you're safe," and they were monitoring me while I was doing it, but yeah.
Yeah. I imagine for them it's quite a big step to see that child go from that, doing little tiny experiments in the household to then working in a big lab. Did you talk to them at all about like what you were doing in the lab day to day? Like how did they support you through this whole process of going from, like local science to proper science, I say with quotation marks?
Yeah, well, I'm very lucky to have very supportive parents. So they were also really curious in my science. So they would ask me what I was doing, and they would give me advice on how I can uh, continue doing better and get better results. So I'm really grateful to have such supportive parents and family around me.
What about your friends? I imagine they're, questioning
Yeah.
what you're doing, spending all your spare time in a lab or
They
doing all
definitely
this
are.
extra.
They're also very supportive. I'm so grateful for them as well. They were they definitely it was a lot for them to process sometimes for sure. But they were also super supportive and they were very curious as well whenever I told them what I was doing.
How do you go about telling them that? Like, what are you saying to your friends in these moments?
Well, two of my friends who I went to the regional science fair with saw me be able to go to Canada wide. So then they were really interested and they were really curious on what I was continuing on doing. So I was really happy to update them and just let them know that my project was going either way. But yeah, it was fun to be able to share my science with people I'm really close with.
Nice. Are they all doing projects? Have you convinced them to join the cult of science fair?
Yeah, I kind of convinced two of them for sure. They did a partner
Nice.
project and it was really good. So hopefully they can continue and do it next year. But yeah.
That sounds like I need to set up some sort of like affiliation program and give you give you all codes to pass out to your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does your friendship group look like? Are you like what? Are you hanging out with people that are very similar to you? Are you hanging out with people that are different to you? Like, how much does science fair, science projects, and that sort of stuff bleed into just your everyday friendships?
Well, so currently I actually I go to a boarding school. I'm not a boarder, I'm a day student. So there are people from like internationally who attend the school. And I've had the opportunity to meet so many people of so many different backgrounds. And while maybe not all of them love science as much as I do, it's been so cool to meet so many people who have different interests. And I've been able to find interests from them that I personally love as well. So it's been so nice to meet a lot of people.
I also went to boarding school, so
Oh,
it's
really?
fun.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't a day student. I was an actual boarder. We lived, quite a
Really?
bit, quite a fair way away from school. So, yeah, it's an
Mm,
interesting experience, that's for sure. Definitely brings
mhm.
together a lot of very different and diverse personalities. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So, who is Claire outside of science fair? Like, who are you as a person? Tell us, what is your personality like? What do you like to do? What's your hobbies, your interests?
Well, one of my biggest interests is Formula One racing. I
Okay,
love
now we're
Formula
talking.
One.
Yeah,
Yeah, I started getting into it about, I think, January of 2024, and I've just loved it ever since. My favorite driver is Oscar Piastri, and I'm really hoping he can
classic.
I'm really hoping he can win the world championship this year. But yeah, other than that, I do love reading. I love listening to music, I love cooking, I love spending time with my friends and family. And of course, I do love science. But yeah.
Okay. Uh, Very convenient that you just happen to become a fan of F1 and your favorite driver just has to be one of the best drivers in the world right
Yep.
now. Yeah, yeah, looks good in orange, all of that. Also has an Australian accent. I mean, I'm not biased
Yep.
at all, but sure. Fantastic. Were you a Drive to Survive convert? Is that where it came from, the Netflix show?
Well, no, I watched my first race in 2021, and then it's kind of always been in the back of my mind. And then, honestly, I can't even remember what made me really get into it. It wasn't Drive to Survive, but it was just I love it so much.
Now you're in.
Yeah.
Now you're following them all on Instagram. They all
Mhm.
probably have
Oh,
TikTok. So
yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Yep.
sister did the same thing. She's got our whole family involved. I'm in a fantasy league for F1. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
She takes my dad to the F1 in Australia every year.
Oh my
Crazy. Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're going to be obsessed. It's funny just how quickly that such niche sport has dominated so much
Yeah, for sure.
of today's society. So, as someone, this is going to take you so out of left field, but as someone who loves environmental science and sustainability, how do you feel about F1? And then as a organization, it's something I always struggle with. So I'm very curious to get your perspective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely isn't great for the environment. Well, it's fun to watch, it's not great, but Formula E, that's also
Mhm.
really cool. I've been kind of getting into that as well, and it's really great to see electric cars who are also who can also go really fast. But yeah, I would perhaps in the future, it can they can become Formula One can become more sustainable. But it's cool to see all the different types of Formula One racing or types of formula racing that there are.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I mean, not to put a downer on your interest and hobbies. Like, I also love it, but it is also something I think about. It's like them as an organization have so much money that is how they're able to spend a lot of money on researching new types of fuel and more efficient ways of
Mhm.
organizing events all around the world. So it is an interesting like microcosm to see just how far science can be pushed in certain aspects
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
something that is basically a hobby, but has somehow got so much money behind it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And so you're gonna get all your friends involved in that fun now, and then you'll get them to the science fair. I can see this. I can see the whole journey.
Yep.
Yeah, the
That's the
multi-step
goal.
plan up here. That's it.
Yeah.
Uh, so lots of hobbies, lots of interests, lots of spending time with family and friends, lots of reading, lots of science fair. How are you managing to do all of this?
Yeah, it's definitely pretty busy, but the best way that I manage all this is to stay organized and to use a planner. I personally love my planners. I have an online planner as well as real like notebook, and honestly I couldn't live without it. It is so helpful. And it just helps me keep track of everything, and it gives me peace of mind to just stay calm and know that I can get everything done on time.
So asking for a friend, what does it mean to plan your day like that? Like, how are you using a planner? What things are you tracking? Are you coloring things in? Like, what,
Yeah.
tell us how you plan your day and your week.
Well, I pretty much just make to-do lists. I'll just write down assignments or say something I need to do for a project, or even spending time with family and friends. And then once I've done it, I'll just check it off, and it feels great to check it off.
Makes sense.
And then, but yeah, that's pretty much how I keep my entire life organized.
Okay. Are you good at balancing schoolwork with things that sometimes are more fun, like lighting things on fire and watching F1?
Yeah, I definitely have to um have good time management to be able to maintain good grades as well as doing all these extra things. But I do love it. I honestly love balancing everything. And while it can be stressful, it's so much fun to see everything that I can do.
Yeah. Is this something that you discuss with your teachers? Like, do all the teachers know just how incredible you are and that you won this massive award at Candlelight Science Fair?
Well, I definitely have to tell them ahead of time because, I have to catch up on all the material I'll be missing. But yeah, they all think it's pretty cool, and it's so exciting to see kind of the inspiration that I can give to not only my classmates, but also perhaps to my teachers as well. Um, yeah, it's really fun.
They didn't give you a pass on an assignment or an exam at all because you won an award?
Actually, my French
Yeah.
teacher gave me a pass, which was really nice.
Okay, nice.
But yeah.
I love that. Can you walk us through what a typical week looks like for you?
Well, so at my school, we have school on Saturdays as well. Which is
What?
only yeah. It's
Oh
only
my
one
gosh.
class. Yeah.
Okay.
But so from 8:30 till about 3:30, I'm in class, and then I do either clubs, which are I do debate club or medical science club, and then I also am doing rowing as well. So I'll do those. They'll alternate through a couple of days of the week. And then I'll come home, do some homework, or just spend time relaxing, maybe hanging out with friends. Yeah.
Okay. So just a few things going on.
Or balancing science projects as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what are you doing to relax then? Like, how are you disconnecting when you shut that textbook, when you finish reading that journal, you put your highlighter away, how are you then just relaxing, turning
I
your brain
love
off?
relaxing. I love relaxing by watching Formula One, of course,
Mhm.
as well as just spending time with my family and friends. It's so refreshing to just be able to connect with them, laugh with them, and I just love being able to spend time with them. And of course, reading as well. Those are definitely my favorite hobbies.
You mentioned you're also in debate club. I was just chatting to Trisha and blanking on the name, like a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like debate club comes up as something quite popular for a lot of different science fair students like
Yeah.
us. I was also in debate club. I feel like
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
part of the culture. We've all got imposter syndrome. We're all overthinkers. We love to read, and we all do debate club. I think that's just like it's just like welcome
Yeah.
to the club. Here's a list of things you're going to do now. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
how is debate club helping you with your science fair experiences?
Well, I've actually just joined it this year. I'd never debated before, but I heard it was really helpful for public speaking and critical thinking. And I really thought it'd be good for presenting to judges or just life skills. It's so important to be able to have critical thinking skills. So I just thought that it would be a fun way to be able to build on these skills and just, it's been really fun so far.
Yeah, it's all part and parcel of building, you know, all these different skills. Like everyone thinks of science fair as, or STEM project even, is just like you just learn a few science skills, but really you're learning all of these different things. Are
Exactly.
there
Yeah.
some skills from doing a STEM project that you feel like you didn't have 12 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago when you first started?
Definitely. I feel my communication skills have gotten so much better. Being able to speak with judges and think on my feet when I'm answering questions or talking about a certain part of my project, it's really been helpful in every aspect of my life. And I'm really grateful that Science Fair has given me all of these amazing opportunities. Yeah, so I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, it was nice. We do like it. It's a fun community. It's a fun little thing to do. So,
Definitely.
what's happening next? How you envision your project being used in forest or drought areas? Like, do you have a vision for what this might actually look like if it was to be brought into the real world?
Yeah. So I would say, if it were to be applied to, say, a field, I would simply, it's really simple to apply. I would just apply it to all of the field, get as much as I could on the plants. And perhaps I would love to continue my research and see if I could apply it to bigger things like maybe buildings or houses to see if it could protect those against wildfires as well, because that would be so helpful to so many people who are suffering from these horrible wildfires. But yeah, I would love to continue my research and perhaps I could find a way to make the hydrogel to give it nutrients back into the soil. I think that there's so many routes that I could take with this, and I'm really excited to see what else I can come up with.
You mean you haven't convinced your parents to let you just paint the house and then set a wildfire
Unfortunately,
off in the backyard?
not yet.
Not
Not yet,
yet.
but
Working on it.
we're getting there.
Yeah, nice. How big of a scale have you taken this experiment? Like, is it all just in the lab? Have you done any real world tests? Like, have you tried it outside?
Able to yet, just because the when I've been doing it, the weather just hasn't been
Hmm.
great, or just the climate isn't great. But I would definitely, that's something I would definitely have to keep researching if this were to be taken to a greater scale. But I would love to. Yeah.
Have you had discussions with firefighters or farmers, or like, have you had discussions with people about what this project might mean to them?
I haven't yet, but that's definitely something that I would love to talk about. I'm sure I would love to hear different perspectives on what they've had to, or what they've had to deal with these horrible effects of climate change, and I would love to see if I could help them face these.
I'm just going to put a little asterisk in this interview for a second and just take a meta analysis. What, for everyone listening, what I've just loved that Claire has done right now is that I've said a question and your answer is no, but you haven't just said no and then left it there. You've said, no, that's a great idea. I would love to do that. Here's all the reasons why that's a great idea and what I'd love to do. Now I'm starting to see why you want a big prize, why you want an award at the Canada Science Fair.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always been like that, I guess, answering questions. Yeah, but I think it's a good way. I think it's a good outlook to have. I haven't done it yet, but I would love to do it. I think that it's a really great way to just see life in general.
I feel so sorry for whoever your debate opponents are coming up in the next 12 months. They have got no chance. That's a very interesting perspective. Here's why you're wrong, and here's why it's better. Nice. So, what's next then? Are you still working on this project going forward? Are you thinking about doing a different STEM project for the next 12 months? Where's your head at?
Well, I would love to see if I could continue with this project. Like I said, I would love to see if I could find a way to have the treatment give nutrients back into the soil or to the plants. But I would also love to take perhaps another approach. I'm really interested in the medical science field. My parents are in the medical science field as well. So I would love to maybe see if I could create a project in that realm. But I'm definitely excited to see what's next.
Okay, I'm very excited to see what's next from Claire as well.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Candlelight Science Fair just for a little bit. It's a week long. Did you get any sleep at all?
Yes, it was
Good.
short, but
Yes.
I definitely got sleep.
For someone who hasn't ever been before, do you think you could describe what the Candlelight Science Fair is?
Well, it's definitely a great mix. It can be stressful, of course. It's such an incredible stage that you're put on, but once judging is over, judging is honestly such an incredible experience. Once you have your first judge over, it's just wow, that is so much fun. It's so incredible to explain my project to someone who's so interested. And while it can be nerve-wracking, it's such an incredible opportunity. So I would say it can be a little bit stressful, but it's also so much fun to meet so many like-minded people, and just be able to present something that you have such a passion about.
Do you remember any questions from the judges that were particularly hard?
I would say honestly, I would say that I prepared pretty well for all the judging questions. So I wouldn't say that there were any that were too hard. There were definitely some that I had to think pretty hard about, but all of them were pretty straightforward.
Nice. How are you preparing? Are you sitting there with flashcards? Have you printed it all out and you've memorized your entire speech? Like, what does it mean to you to prepare for a judging exercise like this?
So yeah, I'll definitely practice presenting my project lots of times. I'll write down really important notes that I want to touch on, and then just most of it is just kind of what I'm thinking on the spot. But a lot of it just is practicing saying it over and over again. And then for questions, I'll present it to teachers or my parents, and I'll just have them give me just as many questions as they can. Um, and or honestly, something that I also have done is I use AI to I give my sort of presentation to AI, and then I'll ask it to create me questions based on my project. And actually, the question's been really well, and I really recommend that for other participants. It's a really great way to prepare.
Yeah, I like that you're not using AI to write your speech for you, but you're using it as if it's a judge already judging your
Mhm.
project and asking you questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's the interaction, it's not the creator of something. That's a good use case.
exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. We're not going to cut that section out. That's good. We'll leave that in. Yeah. How did you go about approaching presenting your project to the public viewers, for example, who aren't judges and who aren't experts on HEC or whatever that is and fighting fires with biodegradable compounds?
Yeah, well, it's definitely just about your audience. So if I were explaining it to someone who was my age, I would probably explain it in a little bit more complex way, which they would understand and not be bored with. But if I were explaining it to, say, grade one or grade two, I would really simplify it and make sure that they were understanding it. But also just explaining it in a way that could be exciting and perhaps interesting for them as well.
Yeah. Do you have advice for students who are worried about judging? Like they get nervous about it before it happens. Do you have any advice for them to just ease them into the judging experience at the fair a bit more?
Yeah, I would say it definitely is nerve-wracking. That's a huge part of it. But just understanding that no one knows your project better than you do. And just having fun, answering questions to the best you can, and just being able to explain something that you have such a passion for is such an amazing opportunity. And it can be hard to see that sometimes for sure. But it's really important to be really in the moment and present and just grateful for the experience.
Yeah, I think having a passion for your project definitely makes it easier. I mean,
Mhm.
we keep saying I write it everywhere. Like it's a conversation you're having with the judges. It's not a
Exactly.
here's a list of 5 questions, you tell me your answers, and then it's a job interview done. It's
Yeah.
you're telling a story, you're having a conversation. You're not
Mhm.
just hoping they ask you a question and then you just give the 3-minute prepared answer that you already have. So it's like weaving in all of those different concepts and then putting your passion into your answers that
Mhm.
has the best result for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk advice and wisdom. I mean, you've already given some wonderful advice. I'm already thinking about buying a plan. I've got Amazon open on my second screen right now. But what would you tell someone who thinks that they are too young to work on serious environmental problems like this? Like so many people see the crazy bushfires that we're having, wildfires that we're having on the screen, on the TV screens, and they're like, well, that's someone else's problem. I don't know how to fix that. Like you saw that and came up with a solution. You didn't have
Mhm.
imposter syndrome? Like how do you, what advice are
Well,
you giving to people?
yeah, it's definitely the hardest part is honestly getting started and just finding an idea that you have a passion about. But just researching topics, and they can even start as pretty simple topics. Like I have such a passion for environmental science, and obviously wildfires and drought are such a common, unfortunately, problem in our world. So I just wanted to see if maybe there was something I could do to prevent these, and turns out there was. So it was just honestly researching something that you're curious about, researching something that you find passion in is the best way to create something that you love.
If you could go back to day one of this whole experience, what would you be telling yourself? What secrets would you be sharing?
I would tell myself to just really, enjoy the process. I would say sometimes I kinda got up caught up in just wanting to, uh, create the best project that I could, or just, wanting to get as many results in, as many trials in as possible, but I really think if I could go back and tell myself something, I would say just enjoy the process, have fun, because it is just such an amazing time.
Yeah. I mean, trying to solve climate change, I would say, is one of the biggest problems you could possibly dare to approach. How do you stay motivated that whole time? Like when that is the end goal, how do you go from, okay, cool, let's come up with an idea, and how are you staying motivated that whole time?
Well, definitely, the biggest probably motivation is honestly just seeing all of the horrible effects and damages that these environmental disasters cause, and just wanting to see if there's something that I can do, even if it's something small, just to help protect these people, help protect wildlife and the environment against these disasters. That's definitely the biggest motivation for me.
Yeah, I love that you didn't just say you're trying to fix the entire problem yourself. Like there's no like silver bullet, as they say. You just said, I just want to do the best that I can to solve whatever little piece that I can, make my little part of the world a little bit better. The other thing that I really liked that you did too is that you broke it into 3 different phases, which I'm sure helped stay motivated because you could like
Mhm.
solve a problem or like finish a mini project within a much bigger project and you did it 3 times.
Yeah, that was definitely really helpful. Definitely for my organization, but also just so I could break it up and just cover one thing at a time.
Did you know that's what you were going to do? Like when you sat down and you're like, I'm doing a STEM project this year, like there's going to be 3 phases. I'm going to have the first one done by September, the next one done by January. Like, is that how
Yeah.
organized you are?
No, definitely not. A lot of it was stuff that I was kind of I had an original plan, but of course procedures change. So I kind of had to alter my method as I was going, and then it wasn't until, I was really deep into my project that I thought maybe after the regional fair, if I got the opportunity to go to Canada-wide, what would I do? And that's when I was researching, more about hydrogels, and that's when I came up with the idea to create my own hydrogel. So I definitely did not have it all planned out right away, but, I had just having a broad idea and then being able to kind of work it out as you go is a really great way of handling things.
Talking about having it all figured out. No, you don't have to have it all figured out. When you think 10 years ahead, do you have an idea of what you're wanting to be?
In the future, 10 years from now, I would say I definitely want to continue something in STEM. I would love to continue researching environmental science. I have such a passion for environmental science. But as I mentioned, both my parents are in the medical field, so I would love to perhaps be a doctor or just something in the medical realm. I just definitely something in science is for me.
I can't wait to see your like Instagram handle change to like Claire, the tree doctor or something. Yeah. I can see it on the news now. So, okay, last couple of questions. Why is STEM fairs and STEM projects and embracing your curiosity and doing some sort of project important? Like, why, you know, you're all busy. Kids are busy. You got school, you got life, you got sports. Why are you also trying to fit in a project?
Well, I would say it's just definitely so important to stay curious. I mean, youth can have such an incredible impact. We see it every year at the Canada-wide Science Fair, just seeing all these amazing projects that youth can come up with. So it's just so important to stay curious and to research something that perhaps maybe you want to go into in the future, or just something you have a passion in is just so important for our youth and our entire world.
What an answer. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to clip that, put that everywhere. That's our website right there. Just that answer. Okay. Do you have any last piece of advice for anyone listening about
I would
anything?
say,
This
yeah,
is your
I would
time to
say
shine.
I would say just don't be afraid to stay curious. If you have an idea, explore as much as possible and just really enjoy science, enjoy all that you're doing, but especially stay curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And there will be ups and downs, but don't just stay motivated, stay determined. And it's just really amazing what we can do in our world.
Yeah. You're all pretty cool. You've got some great ideas. I love seeing very curious students coming up with incredible solutions, just like yours, Claire. Thank you so much for the conversation. This was such a fun interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had so much fun.
Of course. Well, I cannot wait to see where your project takes you in the next 12 months. Hopefully, I see you again in Edmonton at the Canada Wild Science Fair. And for everyone listening, please share your love with Claire everywhere you can. Follow her advice. Stay curious, stay motivated, do a project, convince your friends to watch F1 and also do science fair projects. And we will see you again in another episode of the White House podcast. Thanks.